Hey guys, welcome to Open Techno. Today I'm going to introduce you to a new rugged phone, one of the latest releases from Ulefone. This phone I have here, the Ulefone Armor 29 Pro, is a super tough phone with a really good battery and great features. In general, it's going to surprise more than one of you. For all of you who don't know what a rugged phone is, first of all, let me tell you that it's a phone mainly designed to be very tough, with a really good battery capacity. And above all, it's ready to take with us on our adventures in the countryside, in the mountains, or wherever we want. Phones, after all, that are very tough. And in this case, we're going to look at one of the best from Ulefone, a brand we've seen many times on the channel. You already know they make really good rugged phones, it's practically their specialty. And in this case, I'm telling you, it won't disappoint. So let's get on with the full video. And let's start with the unboxing. As for the box, it comes very well presented, very big, with the phone on one side. On the other side, there's an accessory so you can take it to the mountains with some straps or harnesses. That way, it stays in place. We attach it with a carabiner to our backpack, our belt, or whatever we want. And it also comes with a 120 watt USB Type-C charger, which will let us charge its battery in no time. As for the device, well, as you know, these rugged phones are usually a bit heavy. In this case, we have a pretty big phone, 6.67 inches of screen with a height of 17 centimeters, a width of 8.5 centimeters, and a thickness of 3 centimeters. It weighs 688 grams. A phone, it's heavy, but we'll find out why later. First of all, let me tell you that this phone doesn't just come in this marble black color, which is the one you'll see throughout the whole video. The screen is 6.67 inches, and the SIM or micro secure digital slot is on the right side. We have a button that can be set up for various actions like taking screenshots, turning on the light or flashlight, or opening apps such as a walkie-talkie app. Next is a quick connector for attaching accessories you've seen in other videos, like an endoscope. Or, well, different things that Ulefone has for sale. On the right, there are volume buttons, a fingerprint sensor in the home button, and a camera button. Also with a rough texture. Of course, the corners are always protected with rubber in a more durable way. We have a 3.5mm jack to listen to our music or connect it to speakers or headphones, whatever we want. We have an infrared sensor to control TVs, projectors, air conditioners, and at the bottom a speaker and a USB-C port on the back, which is possibly the most important and outstanding feature of these Ulefone phones. We have a camera module that doesn't come bare. Of course, we have a 50 megapixel main camera, a 50 megapixel ultra wide camera that also functions as a macro, and a 64 megapixel night vision camera with infrared illumination. On the back, between the cameras, we have a small screen where we can see the time. For example, when we place the phone face down. We can also see a calendar, a compass. We can take photos in such a way that, hey, when we take a picture, we can see what we're framing or control the music. These widgets, moreover, are customizable. As I always say, we have red and blue police lights. Are you ready to see them turn on now? Honestly, it's really interesting. They shine a lot, and when there's a bit of darkness, I'm telling you, you can definitely see them. Finally, we have a camping light, as the brand calls it, which provides up to 1000 lumens, which is practically like a ceiling light from our house, to light up whatever we want. In fact, just to show you, I'm going to turn it on. And with the brightness all the way up, honestly, you can't even look at it because it's incredibly powerful. Honestly, it's crazy how much this flashlight lights up, of course. Rugged phone. We have IP68 water and dust protection. This means we can put this phone in water for 30 minutes up to a depth of 2 meters. And I should also tell you that it has a military certification, the 1000 standard 810H. Basically, what this means is that it's a phone that's practically bomb-proof. Let's talk about the screen. Here, I'll mention again, it's 6.67 inches, an active matrix organic light-emitting diode screen that looks really good, with very impressive brightness, very natural, and at the same time, beautiful colors. I mean, well, maybe just a little bit saturated. Anyway, the point is, the screen looks really good. We have 120 Hz enabled by default, offering stability unlike other phones that only have 60. And well, it's to save battery. In this case, it's not at full and we have a brightness of 900 nits with peaks up to 2200. Of course, we have the option to keep the screen always on, showing the time, the current day, and the battery. Likewise, we can also keep the back part on with that little screen showing the clock I mentioned to you. Honestly, those are details that are really nice. On a regular phone, I wouldn't have it active because, it might drain more battery, but on these phones with huge batteries, it's a detail that works really, really well. I'm really happy with the screen. It has excellent outdoor brightness, vibrant colors, and great viewing angles. It already comes protected with a screen protector, and honestly, the feel and responsiveness, so to speak, are incredible. No complaints about this screen. But anyway, you'll also be seeing some sample videos to see how the colors look and how they're represented. Now let's move on to the screen. On the back, well, there's a super complete camera. As I said earlier, I already gave a spoiler. Actually, 50 megapixels in the main camera, in the macro and ultra wide angle cameras, and 64 in the infrared camera. With those infrared lights that give us illumination, of course, we have a flash. And how are the photos? Well, hey, this phone takes really good pictures. You're going to see some examples, both out on the street and, for example, here indoors, some that I usually take to test speed, focus, and so on, so you can get a look at the video. Honestly, the quality is excellent, but I think it adds some post-processing, which makes the images a bit too sharp and maybe makes the photos look a little unrealistic. But I think you could use, maybe even better, another photo app to, well, improve or reduce this somewhat artificial feeling. The quality is excellent, with 50 megapixels of resolution. The front camera also has 50 megapixels. Although honestly, I'm not really surprised here either, because we have a camera that in terms of final quality doesn't really surprise anyone. It's a camera, but as I always say, on these phones it's mainly for video calls. I don't think that if you want to take the photo of your life, you're gonna do it with the selfie camera. Now, as for the processor, we have a MediaTek Dimensity 7400 with 4nm technology, which, well, promises good performance along with good energy efficiency. With this powerful battery, long battery life is easy to achieve. As for RAM, we have 16 gigabytes of RAM, which can be expanded up to 32 if we use the internal storage. Now we have 512 gigabytes of internal storage, that's half a terabyte, and we can expand it with a micro-secure digital card. It also features the Neural Processing Unit 655, which is a chip mainly focused on artificial intelligence tasks, especially when we use Google Gemini within the device. To keep cool when we push it hard, it has a graphene system that helps dissipate heat better and keeps the device cooler during heavy use. And then we have the Neural Processing Unit 655, which is a chip integrated into the phone mainly to improve its performance when we use applications with artificial intelligence. In this case, it's a device that I've tested with a couple of games in daily use. Well, the operating system, navigation, basically what a regular user might use besides games, and it works perfectly. It handles the 120 Hz well, everything works fine. I mean, there's nothing to complain about for any type of user. Battery, and here's a surprise, 21,200 mAh capacity with 120W charging, like I mentioned before, and you can charge up to 20% in just 10 minutes. That's incredible for a phone with this battery. Now we also have reverse charging up to 10W if we need to charge some earbuds or power anything up to 10W. We can do it with this phone, basically using it almost like a power bank. Finally, I have to say that in terms of usage time, with normal use the battery will last about a week. Now, of course, if we start gaming at full brightness, using the camera and using it heavily, then the battery life will decrease. But with normal use by an average person, I think this phone can easily last 5 to 7 days without any problem. Which, to me, just thinking about it seems crazy. We closely monitor the battery percentage, and while recording this video, I've also been taking photos. Don't you notice the battery percentage drop? It's honestly amazing how long these phones last. And as for connectivity, I was also surprised because it comes equipped with dual 5G to support both 5G and sharing it with other devices. Then we have Wi-Fi 6E, which gives us better Wi-Fi and lower latency on our home networks, as long as we have a Wi-Fi 6E router. It comes with Android 15, which gives the operating system the latest features. In this case, I have to say that we have a customization layer that is actually a bit intrusive. It has some translations into Spanish, which is the language I tested it in this time. They're not perfect, especially with capitalization, but there's nothing bad or junky about them. I think Netflix comes pre-installed, along with some apps like the remote control and so on, but honestly, it's pretty clean. It's an easy-to-use operating system. Of course, we have near-field communication, the U-Smart connector I mentioned earlier, to connect specific devices, and we also have the option to equip accessories. As shown in other videos, cases attached to the phone with just a few clicks. You'll see it at the top where it has a slot to, well, put in a clip. Anyway, it's a super complete phone, which I think is definitely made for someone who wants a phone like this. Resistant, durable, and has a good battery. Though it's heavy, its features are excellent. We have an excellent camera, screen, and processor. We can't ask for more. Now, of course, its price is a bit higher than what we've seen before. In this case, we have a price that's around 600 euros approximately. As of today, that's what I've been able to see while I'm recording this video. However, don't hesitate. We'll leave the link to the page with the lowest price down in the description. And with that said, all that's left is to ask you to tell us if you like this kind of phone. If you find this Ulefone Armor 29 Pro interesting, if you would buy it, and if you really think that RootJet phones are actually useful. That being said, I hope you liked the video. If so, leave us a like and see you in the next one. Goodbye.